It's funny sometimes how family members and people will speak about what I do, um, and even though they don't fully understand, I don't think my family has ever fully understood being a manager for artists throughout 13 years. I don't think they quite understand what that means. They don't understand what all goes into my career in general, working for a label, running a label, all of that, right? Um, and there's so many misconceptions about what the business is and what the industry is and and how easy some people think the business is. Um, it's never been easy. It doesn't matter from the beginning to growing in the business and becoming more relevant in the business and having more momentum in the business. Um, it it never it never is easy. There's moments that make it all worth it. There's moments, tipping points where you sit back and you look at what's happening and you look at what has been built and it gives you a glimmer of excitement of winning a championship. Um, but it's a hard business. It's challenging. It's challenging for a good amount of reasons. But I mean, the pressure of being a manager, the politics around strategic relationships and how to be genuine within an industry that is a lot of times disingenuous. Um, and navigating someone's business, you're CEO of their business essentially, and helping them build a brand, but also an actual business. You know, from an artist's perspective, it's not just making music. It's not just releasing content as a creator. It's not just it's real business building, real CEO, vision. That the timing is the utmost important thing, and how everything comes together, all the preparation, leading to one moment that is the tipping point. That then you have a moment of relevancy, but even that moment of relevancy still doesn't stay. There's so many people who have had these very high moments, and it's all about thinking of the longevity of your business, not these quick rise, quick falls. It's like the tree trunk analogy that I love, and I'm kind of an old soul, so I love using analogies. A tree can grow very quickly and very fast and very tall, but that bark, the base of that tree is going to be very flimsy. When that one storm comes, that tree is going to break and is going to fall, right? While a tree that sinks its roots so deep into the soil and builds a foundation, and takes time and patience building that foundation to have not only the deep rooted, but also the thickness of that stump. As it grows, it becomes immovable. And artists' careers are very similar. You know, taking the time, creators as well. This isn't just for artists. This is for creators as well. Taking time to just lay the foundation and to be okay waiting, and be okay knowing that your time is going to come if you stay persistent, you continue working hard. And it just may not be right now, but that's okay. Even if you feel like you're deserving of it with the output and the quality and what you've been doing, staying just 10 toes down, that moment will come. And that patience will be rewarded. Just takes real intentionality. It takes that patience, and it takes that invisible work that a lot of people will only see within the season that you're releasing something, or that you're creating and dropping videos, whatever the ethos of that is. That's really all that they would see. When I think about patience in the music business, and I think about patience in the creator economy, and people who are creating at the highest level and have been for years, but that haven't quite found that tipping point yet, I think of the analogy of being tasked to cut down a tree, and you're told you have 24 hours to cut down this tree, right? And you can sharpen your blade, for 3 of those hours, and be like, okay, cool, this is fine. It's good enough. Let's just go get going chopping at the tree, because that's what really matters, is a tree. Let's go chop down the tree. So you spend 3 hours in your shed, you're sharpening your axe, right? You're sharpening the blade of your axe. You go out there and you just start swinging and swinging, and each hit, it just doesn't seem to be doing much. And you're like, damn, man, like this tree should be falling soon. And you spend all day trying to cut down that tree. But then there's another person who is in there and is patient, and is with his axe and his blade. He's sitting there sharpening and sharpening for 12 hours. That blade is is as sharp as a blade can be, right? He sees the guy who's been out there all day just hustling, huffing, and trying to cut down the tree with this dull blade. He walks in and takes, swings and swings and just sees that tree just completely just collapse into itself as that sharp blade cuts down that tree within a matter of a few hours. You're only as good as the sharp of your blade. Like all of this work is in preparation for that moment, right? It is in preparation for the moment to cut down the tree. But if you rush building your foundation and growing, and you want to just get to start cutting down the tree, you're selling yourself short, and you're going to be making it far harder and expend far more energy to be able to do that, to just get to the tree, to the act of swinging. And a lot of artists want to go on tour. A lot of artists want to have a tour bus, and they want to do a nationwide tour and a world tour, and they want to play festivals and Coachella and Bonnaroo, and those are all amazing. But artist development's a real thing, and you got to spend your time sharpening that blade. But the music business isn't glamorous. It's not glamorous at all. It's a lot of hard work, and to be an artist is something that is incredibly challenging. I have the utmost respect for the artists and the artists that I've served, the artists that I partner with, and the creators that I partner with. It's a big grind, but a huge payoff. If that persistence and the patience, the payoff is next level. And I realized something as well, where the same type of traits that make you survive in such a challenging business, with all the personal dynamics and all the manipulation that happens in the business, and all the power trips and the leverage of people using leverage over you, which is kind of what you feel like is just the name of the business. But those same traits of persistence, of focus, of being in the right circles, of honoring people, spending time around people that are good for your soul and good for your mental and good for your career, because there is a balance. There are people out there that you're on the same frequency with, that you can invest in and you can build relationships with and grow laterally, or grow side by side to then both grow laterally. They're out there for sure. You just got to be intentional about finding them, and then really wrapping your arms around them and spending that quantity of time to develop that relationship. Because this business is hard, man, and it's lonely too. And it feels like one moment you're close to somebody, and then the next you're not. And it's like, man, like I invested energy into that relationship, especially if you're the type of person who really gives of themselves fully. Somebody who puts their all into everything that they do. This business is really, really emotionally challenging, because you do care too much. And you get too invested into building something that, as a manager, isn't yours. But on the artist end, that's what you want. You want a manager who will run through walls for you and will dedicate themselves and help you build their business as if it is their own, right? But a lot of times it's not. But the honoring of that, and of that sacrifice and of that intentionality, I feel like a lot of creators and artists may take advantage of. And that's a challenge to people who have managers that are going above and beyond and doing all that they can. And some artists have the grass is greener syndrome, and it's hard not to be jaded when that happens to you a few times. Whether it was like your fault, as a manager, maybe you made a mistake, maybe it was a right decision to separate and to transition, but it's still for people who really put themselves fully into what they do and really are passionate about what they do. It hits hard. It hits hard. The business is unforgiving a lot of the time. And you just learn from it, and you learn the balance between building close relationships with people that you work with, and also having it be a business relationship where there's a service you're providing, But that's a lot of times really hard to navigate, even when you've been doing it for over a decade. Sometimes it's like that's the biggest challenge. So.